So hello everyone and welcome to episode 10 of On the Winbox. We're finally into double figures and the momentum's starting to roll. We're getting really good now at doing these weekly, don't you think?
Yeah, we are. Every week.
Every Wednesday morning. So we're live on Periscope, so you can ask us your questions while we're shooting the episode. And there's a few people joining us now, so that's good to see. And also this will be going up on YouTube and our podcast and the rest of it. So please do share, comment, like, and tell us what you want us to talk about in future episodes, all about email marketing. It's Wednesday today. On Monday I got back from my cycle journey from Bristol to Brussels. We cycled about 400 miles as a team of four. It was me, my mum and my two cousins, and it was a brilliant adventure, it really was. We were doing it to raise money for Children's Hospice South West, who are a brilliant local charity who I like to do some fundraising work for maybe a couple of times a year, or certainly at least one big fundraising effort once a year. And we had a target of £1,000 and it looks like we just about hit that. So that's excellent. I'm so pleased that we've hit that target. And when we were cycling along, it was further than any of us were comfortable with. So there was definitely times in the journey where morale was a bit low, or we were tired and we were thinking, how are we going to go on? And to think about the bigger picture of how we are helping such a great charity, we're raising money, and the support that we've been given from everyone in the office and the Accelerate program we're part of at Entrepreneurial Spark, our clients, our suppliers, people in our other networking groups. It really spurred us on and got us through the tough moments and made sure we pushed on to complete the journey and to achieve our goal. So I just want to thank everyone for all the support, all the tweets that were coming through, all the donations that you made from when we did the journey. You made it all possible. And it was an excellent adventure for us, and I know Children's Hospice South West appreciates it as well, and we're going to be doing some more fundraising work for them soon, so keep an eye out for what we're going to be up to. I was talking this morning about a plan of a charity golf day, so Winbox charity golf day, which I think would be really good. There's a few amateur golfers in the office, very amateur by the sound of it. A couple of them said they prefer to throw clubs rather than hit a ball with a club. So it'd be an interesting day, but I think that could be something quite nice as a bit of a networking opportunity, get people together. The weather's nice today, so hopefully it'll be a nice weather as well, and raise some money for charity. So if you are interested in a charity golf day, or if you run a golf club and you'll be interested in hosting one, get in touch, because that's something I think I'd like to organise, because it'd be good to do more things like that as a company, and I think other businesses can do that as well. It's a really good thing to have as part of a culture of a company. That was the cycle ride. You can still donate and sponsor us if you like. We'll put the link in the comment section of today's video. And the whole of Team Winbox is here today. So we have Heidi behind the camera. She's our new camera lady, as the tripod is currently elsewhere, broken in pieces. So we need to get a new tripod. Heidi's trying to hold the camera as steady as she possibly can, and I think you do a really good job currently. I try not to talk. Yeah, I try not to talk for too long because I know your arm is going to start to ache. So I'll try and speed up. Don't worry. And obviously Helen's here as well. The whole team is here. So Periscope in, ask us your questions. Helen's going to keep an eye on the questions coming through, and we'll answer them live on the show for you off the cuff now. But today what I want to talk about in terms of email marketing is what content to put in your email newsletters. It's a question I get asked often because people want a consistent email strategy. So they want either a weekly campaign or a monthly campaign, but they don't know what to put in it each time. And they don't want just filler. They don't want just poor content going in just to make sure you get a campaign out that week or that month. Because as we know, as we've explored in the past, one bad campaign can ruin your whole strategy, because people will see that campaign and they see it's not relevant to them or it's not useful, and they'll either unsubscribe from that email, so they receive your future emails, or they would just delete it and they will blink your emails going forward because they have this perception in their mind that it's not going to be useful and relevant to them. So we want to make sure every email is of a high quality. And the way that there's different features that you can have in your campaigns. What we typically have in our client campaigns is we would usually start with one main value piece, and that's usually in the form of a blog article. So that blog article will be something that's super relevant, super specific, and useful for the target audience, for the segment that email is going to be sent to. And the more specific and relevant you can be, the better result you would get from that campaign. So we usually have that main value piece in there consistently in every campaign. And then we can have different features, like you can have a video in there, a regular video strategy. So that might be a tip in every email campaign you send out. Just a short 60-second video, very personal video. It doesn't have to be high production, just with a tip in your expertise, your industry, to help your audience. And we know that videos and emails get really high engagement. So having a video strategy in each email campaign is a really good thing to have as well. You can also have things like an industry roundup section where you have a couple of paragraphs where you commentate on what's been happening in your industry, and it's a little roundup of useful things that your audience needs to know about your expertise, rather than looking at all different platforms and all different media platforms. They know that if they just open your newsletter, they will see a snippet of everything they need to know from that week or that month is in the terms of an industry roundup. You can have company news in there as well. So a bit of an update on what's happening in your company. If you're doing a charity bike ride, or if you're doing a charity golf day, or if you've got a new employee, if you've got a new apprentice on board, if you won an award, just some sort of company news which would be good for your audience to be kept up to date with is a good thing to have in there as well. Guest blog posts, so we're big fans of guest blog posts, because that means you're creating more content that's relevant and useful for your audience, but you are not taking up more resources in-house. So you might not have the capacity to create lots of articles, but you can call into play your partners and your contact sphere to create articles for you that are relevant to your audience. And that is the key with guest blog articles, is don't think too much about who you can help in terms of partners and they can be featured in your article. Think first and foremost about your audience and what benefit they will get from the expertise that your partner can deliver. So make sure that's the first thing you think about when you're inviting people to guest blog on your newsletters, but that's a good thing to do as well to bolster the amount of content in there. And we also say in every email, make sure that you have a sales message. So don't focus every newsletter on sales, which is where people often go wrong with their marketing. It's just all about transactional, it's all about buy. You want to focus it on helping people, but never forget that sales message. Make sure that's in there, because you want to make it easy for people to put up their hand and just say, hey, I'm interested, come and talk to me, or I want to book a call with you, or I want to buy your product or service. So make it easier for them to do that by having a sales message in there. And we usually do that as almost like a PS section at the end. We usually have it in a separate colour, so it looks different, it stands out, it's easy to navigate down to. We often have a button on there as well, so it's easy to understand what the call to action is and how they can take action, but always just make sure you have that in there. And once you've sent out a number of value-driven campaigns, you can identify who's engaged with those campaigns, and you can send those people to sales-driven campaigns, which is just a transactional message, which is just selling, because you're sending that message then to interested parties that you've built a relationship up with because you've helped them in the past. And that's the key. Help people, provide more value than you ask for in return. Help them as much as you can, but then when they do show interest, make sure you capitalize on that and ask for the sell. So there's some ideas of content to put in your newsletters. Consistency is key, because familiarity breeds trust, which trust is a very big part of them making a buying decision with your company. So make sure it's consistent, make sure it's doable, but there are a few ideas of content features you can put in your campaign. Is there anything you wanted to add to today's episode, number 10?
Just that we've got our new ebook. So if you want to subscribe and get this, then it's in the comments and you can get the ebook for free. And it's got all of the email marketing tips in here.
So you may be thinking to yourself, that's not an ebook, that's printed. And that's true. So we have an ebook version, a digital version of this, which you can download, but we've got a number of them printed off as well. They've been brilliantly designed by Andy Patson-Jones of New England. He does all of our branding and design, and we think he's done an excellent job, so we had to get some printed. If you do want a physical copy, if you prefer that than a digital copy, just get in touch and we can send it to you in the post. That's absolutely fine. We have a fair few of them. But yeah, if you want to download it, have a read. It's called Email Marketing for Winners, and it's our favourite sports stories mixed with email marketing advice, which hopefully you'll find useful and entertaining, which your content should be. And let me know what you think. Give me your feedback. We want to make more of these sort of ebooks in the future, because we believe it offers value to our audience. So get in touch. And Heidi, who does the editing of our videos, who is the camera lady and editor today, we'll be putting a link, as Helen said, in the YouTube comment section. So yeah, just click on there and you can download it. And that's all for today's episode, I believe. There's been no questions sent through on Periscope.
No.
There's a few people watching, I can see, but they're obviously shy, not sending in a question. So yeah, we'll be shooting this every Wednesday morning, I think now. I know previously I said it would be Monday afternoon, but we're chopping and changing things to make sure we do this weekly. And Heidi's in every Wednesday. So we're going to be shooting these every Wednesday morning about 9 to 10 o'clock. So make sure you tune into Periscope then if you do have a burning question. Or you can tweet them to us throughout the week. Our Twitter handle is Winbox Ltd, at Winbox Ltd. So tweet them into us or just use the hashtag WinboxWinners and we pick them up then and we'll give you a shout out on the show and also answer your question. But until next time, thank you very much for watching or listening.